What if the biggest danger in your life isn't failure? It's drifting, not moving, not choosing, not doing. Because millions of people aren't ruining their lives with bad decisions. They're ruining them with no decisions. Today, we're breaking down the exact psychology behind people who waste their life and how to make sure you never become one of them. But before we go deeper, I want you to answer one question in your head. Am I living deliberately, or am I just killing time? Keep that answer. You'll need it later. The shocking truth about wasted lives. Most people imagine wasting your life looks dramatic. Maybe addiction, maybe bankruptcy, maybe destroying your potential, but that's not how it happens. For most people, wasting life is quiet. It's subtle, it's comfortable. It feels like nothing is wrong until everything is. Psychologists call it passive living. You don't chase dreams. You just respond to whatever shows up. Notifications, emails, other people's plans, other people's expectations. Life becomes something that happens to you instead of something you build. And here's the scary part. The brain adapts to this. Comfort becomes your default. And once you're stuck in that loop, years can disappear without you noticing. Let's explore how that happens. The loop of tomorrow? There's a psychological trap almost everyone falls into at some point. It's called delayed life syndrome. It sounds like this. I'll start when things calm down. I'll focus on myself after this month. I just need to get through this phase. Tomorrow. But tomorrow is a liar. The brain has a built-in survival mechanism called temporal discounting. It values comfort now more than achievement later. That's why starting a new chapter of your life feels impossible, even if you desperately want to. And here's the twist. Your brain rewards you just for saying you'll do something later. You get a tiny dopamine hit. You feel good, you feel productive, but you haven't done anything. And this is one of the biggest psychological reasons people waste their lives. Your brain can trick you into feeling progress without doing any real work. We'll come back to this because it's one of the deadliest traps. The person who drifts. Let's talk about drifters. Not because they're bad people, but because millions of people slowly drift without realizing it. A drifter wakes up tired, goes into autopilot, does what is familiar, avoids change, avoids discomfort, and then wonders why nothing improves. Drifting is not laziness. Drifting is fear mixed with habit, fear of failure, fear of judgment, fear of doing something wrong, fear of leaving the comfort zone. So instead of choosing a direction, they float. Here's a powerful psychological insight. When you don't choose, your brain believes you're safe, but your life slowly becomes smaller. This is why so many people reach 30, 40, or even 60 and say, I feel like I wasted my life. They didn't waste it through action, they wasted it through inaction. The identity problem. Let's go even deeper. People who waste their life don't have an action problem. They have an identity problem. They tell themselves, I'm not disciplined. I'm not creative. I'm not consistent. I'm not the type of person who succeeds. This becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. When your identity is someone who never finishes things, your brain will act in ways that make that identity true. Psychologists call this self-consistency theory. Your brain would rather be predictable than successful. It would rather keep a familiar identity, even if that identity is destroying your future. And this is why so many people stay exactly where they are. It's not because they're weak. It's because changing your identity feels like dying. So your brain fights it. But don't worry. Later in the video, we'll talk about how to break this permanently. The distraction addiction. Here is the most modern reason people waste their life. Distraction has become more rewarding than your actual future. Every app, every notification, every algorithm, they all hijack the dopamine systems in your brain. You're not addicted to your phone. You're addicted to avoiding your life. Because distraction feels good. It feels safe. It feels effortless. Chasing your potential? That feels uncertain. It feels scary. It feels like work. And your brain will always choose the path with the smallest psychological cost, unless you learn how to break the loop. And that's exactly what we'll explore next. Why some people break out and others stay stuck for decades. But before we go there, ask yourself again, are you living deliberately or are you just killing time? Let's answer a difficult question. Why do some people escape the trap while others stay stuck for decades? It comes down to one thing: psychological momentum. People who stay stuck never build momentum. They wait for motivation, they wait for clarity, they wait for inspiration. But people who break out, they take one small action, even if they feel confused, even if they feel unready, even if they feel terrified. That tiny action creates momentum. Momentum creates confidence. Confidence creates identity. Identity creates consistency. This is how people transform, not through big decisions, but through tiny ones that crack open the door. The problem is, most people never take that first step because they're waiting for a moment that will never come. Later in the video, we'll cover the 3-step momentum method that pulls you out of this trap permanently. But first, we need to understand the real cause behind most wasted potential. The two voices in your head. Every person has two voices inside their mind. One says, you could do more. The other says, but what if you fail? These two voices represent two psychological systems. The growth voice. The fear voice. Now here's the twist. Psychologists discovered that the fear voice is louder not because you're weak, but because it's ancient. It's designed to protect you from danger, not to help you build a meaningful life. So when you think, I'm not ready, I might fail, what will people think? That's not you. That's the fear voice doing its job a little too well. And if you don't learn to manage it, your entire life becomes a negotiation with fear. And fear always overprices everything. People who waste their life don't silence the fear voice. They simply trust it more than they trust their potential. But here's the good news. You can train your brain to flip the balance, to make your growth voice louder, to make your potential feel safer than your comfort. We'll get to that. But first, the trauma loop. How the past steals your future. This is the part nobody talks about. People don't just waste their life because they're lazy or unmotivated. Often they waste their life because of micro-traumas, not the big ones, the small ones. Like being criticized as a kid, being told you're not good enough, being ignored, overlooked, being punished for mistakes, being compared to others. These experiences create what's called learned powerlessness. It's the belief that it doesn't matter what I do, nothing changes. This belief is poison. It convinces you that effort is pointless, that trying is embarrassing, that change is impossible, so you protect yourself the only way you know how: by not trying at all. And that's how the past steals your future without you realizing it. But here's the part most people never learn. You can break learned powerlessness with one specific behavior pattern. And we'll talk about that later in the video. The comfort zone lie. Let me tell you a psychological fact most people never hear. Your comfort zone is not safe. It's dangerous. Not because you're failing, but because you don't feel like you're failing. As long as things feel fine, you don't change. You don't grow. You don't push. You don't take risks. You don't evolve. Comfort is a silent killer. But here's the lie. People believe their comfort zone protects them. In reality, it protects the life they no longer want. Ask yourself this: has your comfort zone ever created the future you dreamed about? Of course not. The life you want lives outside your comfort, and the life you tolerate lives inside it. When people waste their life, it's rarely because they made the wrong choices. It's because they didn't make any. But to change that, you need one thing: the mirror moment. The exact second everything changes. Every transformation starts with one moment. A moment where you stop lying to yourself. A moment of painful clarity. A moment where you look at your life honestly, not emotionally, not dramatically, but truthfully. I call it the mirror moment. It's when you finally admit, I'm not living the way I want. I'm not being who I want to be. I'm wasting my potential. And instead of running from that realization, you sit with it. Because here's the paradox of change. The moment you stop avoiding the truth is the moment you finally become free to change it. Everyone who turns their life around experiences this moment, not once, but many times. And in the next part of the video, we're going to break down the psychological blueprint for escaping the wasted life cycle, step by step, in a way anyone can apply. The escape plan, the three-step momentum method. All right, we've talked about the psychology behind wasted lives. Now let's talk about how to break the cycle. This is the three-step momentum method, a simple formula used in behavioral psychology to rebuild direction, identity, and motivation. Step 1. Start with a 5-minute win. Your brain doesn't trust big promises anymore, so don't make any. Instead, give your brain something it can believe. A small win. A win you cannot fail. Not, I'll work out every day, but I'll exercise for 5 minutes. Not, I'll fix my entire life, but I'll do one thing today that moves me forward. Small wins create dopamine. Dopamine creates momentum. Momentum creates identity. That's how change starts. Step 2. Remove one friction point. People don't fail because they're incapable. They fail because they face too much friction. Maybe your environment is messy. Maybe your mornings are chaotic. Maybe you scroll the moment you wake up. Maybe your goals are in your head instead of on paper. Remove one friction point, just one. Clean your workspace. Delete one toxic app. Set out your clothes the night before. Prepare the environment so success becomes the default. Step 3. Attach identity to action. This final step is the most important. Don't say, I'm trying to be healthier. Say, I'm someone who takes care of my body. Don't say, I want to be more disciplined. Say, I'm the type of person who shows up. Identity drives behavior. Once your actions match your identity, even in a small way, your brain starts fighting for you, not against you. This is how wasted lives turn around. The 5 types of people who waste their lives. Let's go deeper by identifying which type you might be. 1. The chronic planner, always preparing, never starting. 2. The escapist, lives inside distractions, numbs every uncomfortable thought. 3. The drifter, doesn't choose, goes wherever life pushes them. 4. The dream addict, dreams big, does nothing. 5. The people pleaser, lives everyone else's life except their own. Most people are a blend of 2 or 3. The point isn't to judge yourself. It's to recognize your pattern, because once you name the pattern, you can break it. The 1-year question. Let me give you a simple question used in therapy, coaching, and behavioral psychology. If nothing changes, what will my life look like in 1 year? Not 10 years, not 20, just 1. A single year of drifting can weaken your motivation, your identity, your confidence, your relationships, your health, and your dreams. But here's the inspiring part. A single year of deliberate action can completely rewrite your story. People underestimate what 1 year of focus can do. That's why this question is so powerful. It forces your brain to look forward, not just around. The turning point, you versus your future. By now, you understand something important. People who waste their life aren't broken. They're not doomed. They're not failures. They're simply disconnected from their future self. There's a psychological principle called future self-continuity. It basically says, if you feel disconnected from the person you'll become, you won't protect them. You won't invest in them. You won't work for them. This is why discipline feels impossible for some people. You're sacrificing your comfort for a stranger. So here's the turning point. Connect with your future self. Talk to them. Visualize them. Imagine their life, their habits, their confidence, their freedom. Because once you feel emotionally connected to your future self, everything changes. You stop wasting time. You start protecting your path. You start fighting for the life you actually want. Let's finish with something razor sharp. Your life won't be destroyed by one big mistake. It will be destroyed by 1,000 tiny distractions. Your dreams won't disappear overnight. They'll fade quietly while you're busy scrolling. Your potential won't explode dramatically. It will simply evaporate while you tell yourself, I'll start tomorrow. But you know what else is true? A meaningful life also begins quietly, with one decision, one tiny action, one moment of clarity. Maybe this video is that moment. Maybe today is the day you stop postponing your life. Maybe right now is your mirror moment, because you deserve more than a life you tolerate. You deserve a life you are proud of. And it all starts with one step, even the smallest one. If you found this video valuable, consider subscribing. Not for me, but for the future version of you who deserves better than another wasted year.